Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast special edition show where I live react to the 2022 NFL schedule. This is fun that I'm doing a live reaction to this. I know some of the games because of leaks throughout the week and whatnot, and there's others that I don't know. So this is going to be a lot of fun here to do. So here we go, week one. So here's the deal. I'm going to talk about all the primetime games, all the 425 games, all the special games, and then notable matchups along the way, specifically division matchups and some other rivalries and whatnot. All right, and then obviously if I get one right in terms of a primetime game and in the right spot, I'll let you know about that as well, as long as I remember. All right, so opening night. This is one they originally had predicted, but I misread something that I saw, and that was the Monday night game between the Bills and the Titans. I thought that was week one. That was actually week two. So I misread that. That's my apologies. So I was initially right on this one with the Bills at the Rams for the first game of the season at 8:20 on NBC. So that's Josh Allen and the Bills, the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now on FanDuel against your reigning champion Matt Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. All right, September 11th, week one. Cool that week one falls on September 11th this year. I remember in 2011, it started on 9/11 too, and the Jets had their home opener on a Sunday night against Dallas. That was back when Sanchez was quarterbacking Dallas, and then Tony Romo was still playing. And it was one of the better regular season Sunday night games on opening weekend that we had. And it was a memorable game. I remember Romo threw a late interception to Darrelle Revis, and that pretty much sealed the game. That was on 9/11, and then it was an emotional home game for the Jets that they ended up pulling out. So on Sunday, September 11th, you have the Saints at the Falcons, division rival. 49ers at the Bears. Pittsburgh at the Bengals. So Kenny Pickett's first game potentially at Joe Burrow unless they start Mitch Trubisky. Philadelphia at Detroit. New England at Miami. So New England begins the regular season where they ended the regular season last year and Miami beat them, although New England made the playoffs and Miami did not. Ravens at the Jets, so the Jets get another home game on 9/11. So Lamar at Zach Wilson. Jaguars at the Commanders. I thought that was a possible primetime game candidate, but I didn't pick it. Browns at the Panthers. What if Baker's on Cleveland next year? So that'd be Watson at Baker, potentially. But who knows? Watson might be suspended. Colts at the Texans. So Matt Ryan's first game as a Colt is at Houston. In the 425 window, Giants at the Titans on Fox. Packers at the Vikings on Fox. So you would think that Burkhardt and Olsen will be at the NFC North showdown. That's a better game than Giants-Tennessee. And then on CBS at 425, you have the Chiefs at the Cardinals and the Raiders at the Chargers. You would think Nance and Romo will be at the latter game. And I believe they will be at the latter of the two games. Although Kansas City, Arizona is awesome too. They're going to be, hopefully, in Los Angeles because that is the better game, let's be honest. It's a division rivalry. Nance and Romo got to be at Vegas Chargers. They just got to be. I mean, if they're at the other game, it's because it's favoritism towards Patrick Mahomes. Let's just be honest. But I think they're going to be at the AFC West game between the Raiders and the Chargers. And then Sunday Night Football, you have the Buccaneers at the Cowboys, the rematch of the opening night game from last year, except in Dallas. So you have Dak hosting Brady, except there'll be Mike Tirico on the call this time with Chris Collinsworth. And I believe I think Al was on the game in the opener last year. I don't think it was Mike Tirico. I want to say it was Al Michaels. I think it was Al Michaels, but I'm not 100% sure. And then the first Monday night game of the year on ESPN and ABC, Broncos at Seahawks, Russell Wilson back in Seattle. That is absolutely crazy that the schedule makers decided to do that. And you got to wonder what kind of reception Russell Wilson's going to get in Seattle. Week 2, the first game on Amazon Prime. Chargers at the Chiefs. We knew this a few days ago, or a few weeks ago at the draft. We found this out, actually. So we knew about this. Sunday, September 18th, 1 o'clock, you have the Jets at the Browns, the Buccaneers at the Saints, the Panthers at the Giants, the Steelers hosting the Patriots, the Colts at the Jaguars, the Dolphins at the Ravens. 4 o'clock window, 4:05 on Fox, Seattle at San Francisco, 4:25 CBS, Houston at Denver, and you would think Danson Romo will be in Vegas when the Cardinals are at the Raiders. So back-to-back Nansen Romo with the Raiders. And then on Sunday Night Football, you have the Bears and the Packers. That was one of the leaks earlier in the day. And then the two games that I misread and thought were week 1 are actually in week 2. Tennessee at Buffalo, 7:15 on ESPN. And then 8:30 on ABC, Minnesota at Philadelphia. The question is, where's Buck and Aikman? I'm going to say they're in Philadelphia because that game's on ABC. And they tend to get favoritism within the NFC East. Okay, week 3, Thursday Night Football on Amazon. You have the Steelers at the Browns. So, either Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett at maybe Deshaun Watson, maybe Jacoby Brissett. All right, Sunday the 25th. You have the Saints at the Panthers, Texans at the Bears, Chiefs at the Colts. That's a good one for a 1 o'clock game. So is this one. Bills at the Dolphins, Lions at the Vikings, Ravens at the Patriots. Another good one. That's on Fox, actually. Bengals at the Jets, Raiders at the Titans. This is a good week. Eagles at the Commanders, 4 o'clock window, 4:05 Jaguars at the Chargers, 4:25 on Fox. You have the Rams at the Cardinals, so you're going to guess that that's Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. Actually, no, it's not going to be. Falcons, Seahawks, Olsen and Burkhardt are going to be on Packers, Buccaneers. That's Rodgers against Brady. How did I miss that? And then Sunday Night Football, I have the 49ers at the Broncos. And then Monday Night Football on the 26th, a Joe Buck, Troy Aikman favorite, Cowboys at the Giants on ESPN and ABC. So the favoritism towards the NFC East for Buck and Aikman continue onto Monday Night Football as they've called plenty of classic Giant Cowboy games for years. And that was a Monday Night Football game a few years ago when the Black Cat ran onto the field at MetLife Stadium. So for the second time in the last 5 years, this is a Monday Night Football matchup. And it's going to feel bigger because it's Aikman and Buck on the call and not whoever it was at the time. I think it was Sean McDonough at the time. Week 4, Thursday Night Football. On Amazon Prime Video, you have the Dolphins at the Bengals. From London, you have the Vikings against the Saints. That's a 9:30 a.m. game. Last time these two teams met was the Christmas Eve game when the Saints scored 52 points on Minnesota. That was the last time those two teams met. So that is the London game. You have the Browns at the Falcons, Bills at the Ravens. That's a decent game. Commanders at the Cowboys, Seahawks at the Lions, Chargers at the Texans, Titans at the Colts, Bears at the Giants, Jaguars at the Eagles, Jets at the Steelers. 4:05, you have the Cardinals at the Panthers. 4:25, CBS. So Nance and Romo have options. Patriots at the Packers or Broncos at the Raiders. Which one will they pick? I would say it will be the game between the Patriots and the Packers because I think that they're going to be with the Raiders the first 2 weeks. So that'd be a little bit of favoritism if they had the Raiders 3 times in the first 4 weeks. So I honestly think that it's going to be Patriots at the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. And then Sunday Night Football is one that was leaked earlier in the day. Chiefs at the Buccaneers, so the Super Bowl rematch from 2 seasons ago. And then Monday Night Football is a good one for Buck and Aikman. They have the Rams at the 49ers, so NFC title game rematch. Only on ESPN, no ABC. Week 5, now we're just going to go through division games and who's like the 425 games. Prime Video's Colts at the Broncos, so the Manning Bowl. In London, you have the Giants at the Packers. You have Steelers, Bills that week. Chargers at the Browns. Bears, Vikings. Dolphins at the Jets. Falcons at the Bucks. 4 o'clock window. The game that will likely be called by Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson will be the Cowboys at the Rams. That's the big one. Eagles at the Cardinals isn't bad either. Sunday night game is the Bengals at the Ravens. So that's interesting. And then the Monday night game on ESPN is between the Raiders and the Chiefs. So a really good Monday night game for Buck and Aikman. I think I had that as a Monday night game. I'm going to check that right now. I have a feeling I had that as a Monday night game. Let's see. I did! Good for me. I got that right. That was really good. All right, week 6. It doesn't list buys, which is unfortunate. So the prime video game is Commanders at the Bears. So no London games that week. Patriots at the Browns is interesting if Deshaun plays. Jaguars at the Colts, maybe Trevor Lawrence is better and the team's better. Ravens at the Giants is that week. Bucks at the Steelers, so Brady at the Steelers. That's not as enticing because of no Roethlisberger. The Nance and Romo game will be the Bills at the Chiefs. That one was leaked, I believe, yesterday. Sunday night game is Cowboys at Eagles. Monday night game, AFC West matchup, Broncos, Chargers. So back-to-back AFC West matchups for Buck and Aikman on Monday Night Football. Week 7, the prime video is Saints at the Cardinals. That's a decent game. And on the 23rd, no London games. We have the Bucks at the Panthers. Browns, Ravens, Colts, Titans. The Burkhardt Olsen game will probably be Chiefs at the 49ers. That was a Super Bowl rematch from 3 seasons ago. Seahawks, Chargers would have been decent if Russell Wilson was still on Seattle. And the Sunday night game, how about this? Steelers at the Dolphins. I don't think anybody expected the Dolphins to get a Sunday night game at home this year. They gained a lot of respect for the year they had last year and acquiring Tyreek Hill. So that's interesting. And the Monday night game is the Bears at the Patriots. So that's not really that great of a game. Week 8, Prime Video. Ravens at the Buccaneers. That's a good one. Lamar at Brady. We have a game in London between the Broncos and the Jaguars that week. Panthers, Falcons is that week. Cardinals, Vikings could be decent. Raiders, Saints is a good game. Why isn't that in prime time? Patriots at the Jets. Steelers at the Eagles is an in-state rival. I'm surprised that's not a Nance Romo game. Or maybe it will be. No, it's either going to be that or Raiders at the Saints. They're both on CBS at 1 o'clock. And then the big game that it's going to be Burkhardt and Olsen, the 49ers at the Rams most likely. So that's the second time those two teams will meet in the season. The Sunday night game is Packers at the Bills. And the Monday night game is an AFC North game between the Bengals at the Browns. So Monday Night Football, I'm noticing a lot of division games. The 2 AFC West games, you have the Giant Cowboy game, the Bengal Brown game. Week 9, the Amazon Prime game's a terrible game. Eagles at the Texans. Why is that on Prime? Chargers at the Falcons would have been good several years ago, and it's not now. Packers at the Lions is a division game in there. Raiders, Jaguars can be fun with Trevor Lawrence in the mix. Colts at the Patriots could be interesting. Bills at the Jets is a division game. Seahawks, Cardinals division game. And then the Nance Romo special, Rams at the Buccaneers, division rematch from a year ago. So, how about that? Rams Buccaneers on CBS. So that's your cross-flex game. You might be seeing a lot of cross-flex games into the CBS spots because let's face it, Nance and Romo are the premier announcers now that Troy and Joe moved on to ESPN in terms of Sunday day announcers. They're the premier guys. Buck and Aikman were always the premier guys, and it was Nance and Sims, and then now Nance and Romo. Nance and Romo are now the number one, and that's who you want to have call your big game if you're playing Sunday during the day. And then Sunday Night Football, you have a playoff rematch from the AFC title game 3 years ago between the Titans and the Chiefs. And Monday, November 7th, you have the Ravens at the Saints for Monday Night Football. That's pretty good. Week 10, Prime Video, Falcons at the Panthers. You have a game, I believe this is the game in Germany between the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. That is in Germany. I was right. Vikings Bills is a good game in the 1 o'clock window. Jaguars at the Chiefs will be fun if Trevor's improved. Lions Bears is a division game. Browns Dolphins might be interesting if Deshaun's back. Talk about a tankathon game in week 10. The Texans at the Giants. That could very well be an ugly tankathon game. Saints Steelers is good. Broncos Titans is good. So actually a decent 1 o'clock slate in week 10, despite a couple bad teams in there. The premier game of the week, which would be Burkhardt and Greg Olsen, America's Game of the Week. The Cowboys at the Packers. Cardinals-Rams is really good, but Cowboys-Packers is the premier game that week. And on Sunday Night Football, you have the Chargers at the 49ers. That's a really good game. And Monday Night Football, division matchup, the Commanders at the Eagles. So they have Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders, Eagles on Monday Night Football this year. Week 11, on Prime Video, the Titans at the Packers. That was a primetime game on a Sunday night a few years ago that got flexed in, if I'm not mistaken. And Green Bay absolutely blew out the Titans. I'll never forget that. That was a weird Sunday night game, and Green Bay just destroyed them. And now that's on Prime Video. Al Michaels again, by the way. Al Michaels gets this matchup again, except on Amazon Prime Video with Kirk Herbstreit rather than NBC with Chris Collinsworth. So this is the week before Thanksgiving. Browns at the Bills could be decent in terms of 1 o'clock games. Potential tankathon between the Commanders and the Texans. Eagles Colts, you have the Wentz Bowl in a way. The two ex-Carson Wentz teams going at it. Jets at the Patriots. Rams Saints is a good game. And then the premier game that's going to be Nance and Romo will be the Chiefs at the Chargers. That is a fabulous game. Cowboys Vikings is in that window too. But let's face it, Nance and Romo better be in the AFC West. They better be. And Sunday Night Football, the Bengals at the Steelers. Monday Night Football, 49ers at the Cardinals, another division game. So I just noticed they have the 49ers twice on Monday Night Football against division teams. All right, Thanksgiving. 12:30, CBS, the Bills at the Lions. That one was leaked, if I'm not mistaken. How about this? 4:30 on Fox, Giants Cowboys. Giants never get the Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. They finally get it. It's been their division rival, Eagles and Commanders, for years. And now they finally get this game with Dallas. Except it won't be with Buck and Aikman. It will be with Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. And then Nance and Romo get Bills Lions. I wish it was the other way around, or else Romo and Nance have like the better game. And then the night game is Patriots at the Vikings. So it turns out that the reported Bills at the Ravens game was fake. in terms of the Thanksgiving night game. The Thanksgiving night game's the best one, Patriots at Minnesota. That's the best one. That's going to be Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, but it might be Tirico and Drew Brees for what we know. All right, Sunday, November 27th, you have the Bucs and the Browns, so potentially Brady at Deshaun. Probably Brady at Deshaun at that point. You have the Bengals at the Titans. That's a playoff rematch from a year ago. And then the 4:25 on Fox game that will probably be showed everywhere will be the Rams at the Chiefs. I don't know if Burkhardt and Olsen will get back-to-back that weekend because for some reason I feel like Buck and Aikman or Nance and Romo would never get that back-to-back from Thanksgiving to that Sunday game. But we'll see. And then the Sunday night game's a good one. Packers at Philly. That might have been one of my predictions for Sunday Night Football. I had that as an Amazon game, not a Sunday night game. And then Monday Night Football is the Steelers at the Colts. Week 13, Thursday Night Football. You have the Bills at the Patriots on Prime. That's the best one so far on the Prime schedule. The best one. And then Sunday, the 4th, you have the Broncos at the Ravens, so Russ at Lamar. Packers-Bears division game. The NFC East Tankathon, Commanders at the Giants. Titans-Eagles could be a good game. 2 playoff teams from last year. Seahawks at the Rams division game. And then the Nance Romo special, they have 2 candidates. Chargers at the Raiders and Chiefs at the Bengals. They'll be at Chiefs-Bengals because that was the AFC title game a year ago. That deserves it. So Nance and Romo will be in Cincinnati when the Chiefs take on the Bengals. And on Sunday Night Football, you have the Colts at the Cowboys. Monday Night Football with Buck and Aikman, you have the Saints at the Buccaneers. So a nice division matchup there. And I think I had that as a Monday night game except at New Orleans. I had Chiefs at the Buccaneers as a Monday night game. I had Saints at the Buccaneers as a Sunday night game. So week 14, the Prime Video game, Raiders-Rams, that's a good one. That might be the best one so far. On the 11th, Jets-Bills, Browns-Bengals, a lot of division games. Vikings-Lions, Eagles-Giants, Ravens-Steelers, Jaguars-Titans. And then the game that why do I keep thinking Joe Davis is getting the lead gig? It's Kevin Burkhardt with Greg Olsen. The Buccaneers at the 49ers. And then the Sunday night game, Chiefs at the Broncos. Monday night game, the Patriots at the Cardinals, which I think I had predicted down as a Monday nighter. I think I had that written down and I changed it, the Patriots at the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. Week 15, Amazon Prime, 49ers at the Seahawks. That was a division rivalry that was so good in the early to mid-2010s with Jim Harbaugh and Russell Wilson and Richard Sherman. And that was a great rivalry back then. December 18th, Chiefs-Texans would have been good several years ago. That was a divisional round game back in 2019 in that postseason, 19-20. But Deshaun's long gone. Eagles-Bears might not be that terrible. Neither might Cowboys at the Jaguars if Trevor takes that jump. I'm just saying if Trevor takes that jump all the time because I think he's in for a big breakout year. So the Jaguars might be fun to watch this year. Nance and Romo will be at Bengals at the Buccaneers. So Brady hosting Cincy. And on the Sunday night game is Brady's old team, the Patriots, at the Raiders. Monday Night Football is a good one. ESPN and ABC. The Rams at the Packers. Week 16. Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. This might be the last one. Jaguars at the Jets. I actually predicted that as a primetime game, except I had it on the Monday night. So Al and Kirk will get Trevor Lawrence against Zach Wilson. Kind of fits Kirk. Christmas Eve. Falcons at the Ravens. So, by the way, Christmas Eve, will be the majority of the games Christmas weekend because Christmas falls on a Sunday. There's going to be 3 football games on a Sunday. One of them was leaked, and I don't know the other 2 yet. I know the one is the Broncos against the Rams, but I don't know what the other 2 are. But we're going to find out in a couple seconds. So the majority of games are Christmas Eve. The one I just talked about, Jags-Jets, is on the 22nd. And then I would assume that there's a Monday night game in there as well, so we'll see. So Christmas Eve, we're just going to go through the whole board for Week 16 because it's the Christmas weekend. Falcons, Ravens, Lions, Panthers, Bills, Bears, Saints at the Browns, Seahawks at the Chiefs, Giants at the Vikings, Bengals at the Patriots, that's decent, Texans at the Titans, Commanders at the 49ers, the Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen game will likely be Eagles at Cowboys. And then the Sunday night game is on NFL Network for some reason instead of NBC. And is indeed the Raiders at the Steelers. Christmas Day. Oh, wait a minute, because it's a Saturday night, not a Sunday night. I get it. Idiot me. Christmas. 1 o'clock on Fox. The Packers at the Dolphins. So that will probably be the game that Burkhardt ends up getting. Unless if Joe Davis gets that game, we'll see. Good on the Dolphins for getting a home game against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on Christmas. And then the one that got leaked out, CBS Nickelodeon at 4:30, the Broncos at the Rams. That is a lock for Nance and Romo, a lock. And then Sunday Night Football on NBC is the Buccaneers at the Cardinals. I think I picked Tom Brady to be on Christmas at night. No, I had him at the Browns. I had the Cardinals on Christmas, but I had them at the Chargers. So that was pretty good that I nailed the Cardinals and the Buccaneers playing on Christmas, but I didn't have them against each other. And then Monday Night Football on ESPN is Chargers at the Colts, which is a decent game. Week 17. Thursday Night Football. The last one on Prime Video this year. The Cowboys at the Titans. That's a decent game. On New Year's Day, Sunday. So you would think the college football playoff will be on New Year's Eve then, if they're playing football. So the national championship in 2023 is on, it doesn't say. We're trying to get the college football playoff dates. So you would think that that's going to be the Saturday or on December 30th, the Friday. But we'll see about that. So Sunday, January 1st, Cardinals at the Falcons, Steelers at the Ravens, Bears at the Lions, Jags at the Texans. Broncos at the Chiefs is a good one. I don't know why that's in the 1 o'clock window. That deserves better. Dolphins at the Patriots, Colts at the Giants, Saints at the Eagles, Panthers at the Buccaneers, Browns at the Commanders, 49ers at the Raiders, Jets at the Seahawks, Vikings at the Packers, Rams at the Chargers. And on Monday Night Football, the finale, 8:30 on ESPN and ABC, the Bills at the Bengals. That's a good one to close out Monday Night Football in Buck and Aikman's first year in terms of the regular season, because you know that they're going to get playoff games as well. And Week 18, games not yet scheduled. Buccaneers at the Falcons, Patriots at the Bills, Vikings at the Bears, Ravens at the Bengals, Lions at the Chargers, or at the Packers, Texans at the Colts, Titans at the Jaguars, Jets at the Dolphins, Panthers at the Saints, Giants at the Eagles, Browns at the Steelers, Cowboys at the Commanders, Chargers at the Broncos, Chiefs at the Raiders, Rams at the Seahawks, Cardinals at the 49ers. If you ask me, which of these games is going to be the Sunday night game that Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth will be calling at the end of the season, if you ask me that question, I think the answer could very well be the Chiefs at the Raiders. I really think that could be for the last wild card spot in the AFC, or two of the wild card spots. Wouldn't rule out Cardinals 49ers for that. I also wouldn't rule out the Browns at the Steelers for that. I don't think it'll be Ravens-Bengals, but you never know. Weirder things have happened. Or maybe the Vikings at the Bears for the NFC wildcard spot if the NFC's bad enough and the Bears can sneak in. So, it's interesting for sure. A couple takeaways. I think that there's so many great matchups in all the prime spots. I think they did a great job not giving a specific team too much favoritism. Maybe it's a big deal that Fox is changing its booth. I think that Monday Night Football is very divisional heavy, and that's not a bad thing. The one thing that surprised me is that the New York Football Giants only got one primetime game, but they also have a Thanksgiving game against Dallas. So both their games against Dallas are on national TV, and all their other games are not. The league must think that they're going to be terrible this year. Them and the Commanders, neither of them have a ton of primetime games. So the league thinks they're going to be terrible. The Dolphins getting a Sunday night home game was surprising. I think the Bears getting the game with Green Bay wasn't as surprising because the Bears tend to get Sunday night football games a lot. Buffalo has gotten a lot of respect, and deservingly so. The Rams have a ton of respect, and deservingly so. Buck and Aikman have a ton of good games. The Amazon slate, I think, is a little weak. But I think that they have some good ones in there. But there's also a Saturday triple header in Week 15 with the matchups to be announced. So we're going to go back to that week, and we're going to predict which Week 15 matchups could be on the Saturday. Oh, we even saying here, games not yet scheduled. How'd I miss this? Dolphins at the Bills, Ravens at the Browns, Colts at the Vikings, Falcons at the Saints, and Giants at the Commanders. If you blindfolded me and said which 3 games will be in those spots, I think that the primetime game will be the Colts at the Vikings because those two teams I think will probably be in playoff contention. The middle game I could see it being Dolphins Bills or Ravens Browns. It's going to be one of those two. And I would say that the Bills will probably get the 1 o'clock game. The Ravens at the Browns will be in the 4 o'clock spot. And then prime time will be Minnesota hosting the Colts. I don't think the Giants or the Commanders are good enough to be in that spot. Maybe they get the 1 o'clock game. Who knows? But like I said, the lack of primetime games for those two teams tells me that the league thinks that they're going to be terrible. I know the Giants have that London game too. So they technically have 3 nationally televised games. Only one of them is in primetime. And it's, like I said, in Week 3 at home against the Cowboys. And I feel like the Commanders only have 1 primetime game, too. And, of course, it's against Philadelphia. So that's the case for Giants-Commanders if they want to give the NFC East some respect. Falcons Saints, I don't think will be either because I don't think the Falcons are going to be any good. But the Saints are going to be good. They have a couple primetime games, and I think they're in play for that, too. But I can't believe I missed that. The game's not yet scheduled when I was going through the lists. But the other thing I noticed when I was going through the schedule, I did not notice buys for teams, which is interesting. But I think that's a little irrelevant when it comes to these. The preseason, obviously, hasn't been announced yet. The Hall of Fame game is... I thought the Hall of Fame game got leaked. But yeah, there's a lot of good games on the schedule, obviously. And now if you ask me the best weekly game. So Week 1, the best game, I think, is the first one between the Bills at the Rams. Week 2's best game, I think, is Amazon Prime's game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Week 3's best primetime game. But yeah, that's the other great game that Amazon has other than those other two games. So I forgot about that Chargers-Chiefs game for Amazon when I'm talking about for best Amazon games. But Week 3's best game, I'll say, is the Rodgers-Brady game. The Week 4 best game, I'll say that is the Chiefs at the Buccaneers. Week 5 best game, I'll say that game is the Raiders at the Chiefs. So Buck and Aikman win that one. Week 6 best game for me is the Bills at the Chiefs, the division round rematch from a year ago. Week 7 best game. That's a tough one. There's so many good ones, too, that week. I guess I'll go with the Chiefs at the 49ers. So I guess that's the one that stands out. And there are some decent games, but there aren't really many awesome games, if you know what I mean. So Week 8 best game, I'll say the Packers at the Bills because it's Rodgers at Josh Allen. Week 9 best game, I'll say that it is the Rams at the Buccaneers because that's the divisional round rematch. Week 10 best game, that honor belongs to the Cowboys at the Packers, I guess. Week 11 best game, I'll pick the Chargers hosting the Chiefs for that one again. That's going to be a great rivalry this year. Week 12 best game, I would say the Rams at the Chiefs, easy. The rematch from Mexico City. Week 13, best game, I would say the AFC title game rematch from last year, the Chiefs and the Bengals. Week 14, best game, I would say Chiefs at the Broncos. Week 15, best game, my pick for that would be the Rams at the Packers, so I give Buck and Aikman that win. Although Bengals at the Buccaneers is fun too. But I think Rams-Packers is great as well. That's a tough one. I think it's because you have the two-time reigning MVP against the Super Bowl champs. Although you could say the GOAT against the future GOAT in the other one with Burrow at Brady. Week 16, best game, I would say is the Broncos at the Rams. So Russ at his old division foe. Week 17, best game, I would say is... This is a tough one. And good on Nance and Romo for getting a couple good NFC games. Because like I said, they're the premier guys now. They'll be calling games during the day between the two networks. And they're the GOATs now that Buck and Aikman are now with ESPN. And then I would say that Buck and Aikman do get the crown for best Week 17 game between the Bills and the Bengals. And in best Week 18 game, like I said, the one I predict that might be the Sunday night game, the Chiefs at the Raiders. That's my favorite one in terms of Week 18 games. So that's it for the schedule release show. It was a fun reacting episode to the schedule because I didn't know a lot of things about the schedule. A lot of fake leaks were out there, like I said earlier on my regular show. and it was fun to take a look at it. So have a great night, everyone.